Welcome.
Welcome to the Everythink podcast, and in this episode I'm reviewing Tom Allen Completely, which is a stand-up show. But before I get to my review, it's time for the usual cast list and synopsis. So it stars Tom Allen. It is also written by Tom Allen. There's no director for it, and the synopsis is as follows. Funny man Tom Allen is back with a brand new show. Hear all his scintillating life updates since finally moving out of his parents' house. Tom Allen Completely was released on the 13th of July 2024. Here's my opinion on it. I loved the range of topics covered. I liked the Neighbours references and I enjoyed the entire show. Without further ado, here's my review of Tom Allen Completely. We start off with the title sequence. Tom is introduced. Tom thanks the audience for attending his show. Tom explains this show's venue. Tom reveals his comedy demographic. Tom mentions Rob Beckett. Tom discusses his posh voice. Tom recounts a conversation with his dad. Tom gives multiple suggestions about if one of your family members or friends are gay. Tom explains why he felt he didn't fit in at a school. Tom mentions purposefully getting lost in supermarkets. Tom compares himself to Judge Rinder as well as Mrs. Mangle and Madge from Neighbours. Tom reveals some of his insecurities. Tom continues to do impressions of quotes from his dad. Tom speaks to some audience members about their lives. Tom questions one of these audience members' current unemployment. Tom stereotypes the audience members he speaks to. Tom believes that some other audience members could be a butcher, a baker and a candlestick maker. Tom finds out that one of his audience members is from New Zealand. Tom asks this audience member his opinion of living in London. Tom insults New Zealand. Tom mentions Clap for Carers, which was something that was done in the UK during the pandemic, where every Thursday night, I think it was at 8 o'clock, you would go and clap for a couple of minutes for everyone working in the NHS. Tom compares dentists to skiers. Tom complains about the dust levels at Heathrow Airport. Tom mentions Zoom. Tom discusses his thoughts on technology as well as reviews for toasters. Tom mentions public hangings and computer cookies as well as the proving you are not a robot tests. Tom compares himself to C-3PO. Tom reveals that he has moved into his own home. Tom mentions bin day. Tom compares his mum to a 1990s DJ. Tom confesses that his new home is near to his old school. Tom explains what he has to experience every time he puts his bins out. Tom talks about the slugs and snails in his garden. Tom describes his method for getting rid of these snails and slugs. Tom explains how stressful moving house can be. Tom details his experience of buying a mattress. Tom admits that he can't use blinds properly. Tom discusses bedside tables. Tom believes he can sleep on a slinky. Tom refers to his new neighbours. Tom explains an app known as Nextdoor. Tom mentions the BBC licence fee. Tom reveals he found his home when he moved in. Reveals how, let me say that again, because that didn't make sense. Tom reveals how he found his home, when he moved in. Tom compares his home to a restaurant chain. Tom mentions gay stereotypes. Tom explains how he destroyed the stereotypes when meeting a workman. Tom attempts to do average man impersonations multiple times. Tom explains builder's mugs. Tom mentions mugs that come with Easter eggs. Tom talks about his workman's school uniform. Tom reveals that what his new neighbours know about him based on the Nextdoor app. Tom mentions Michael Jackson and Neverland. Tom Tom reveals how his mother was incredibly houseproud and references his childhood bathroom. Tom admits he owns a squidger, which is like a window cleaning tool. Tom demonstrates how to use a squidger. Tom reveals he has a new boyfriend. Tom admits to him and his boyfriend sleeping together. Tom details why he and his boyfriend found each other. Why and how. I've put why, that's what I'm going with. Tom references RuPaul's Drag Race. Tom calls muscles squares. Tom reveals how he perceives other gay people. Tom describes his recent visit to Brighton. Tom discusses his and his boyfriend's differing opinions and viewpoints when it comes to making the bed. Tom reveals he likes doing the dishes with his boyfriend. Tom mentions Call the Midwife. Tom does an impersonation of a Call the Midwife character as well as a Dalek. Tom talks about dinner parties. Tom details the most recent dinner party he and his boyfriend attended. Tom explains how stressful hosting a dinner party is. Tom incorrectly demonstrates how to answer a knock at the door. Tom expresses his anger if any dinner party guests bring children or alcohol with them. Tom describes what he does with guests' coats. Tom recalls his experience of holding a friend's baby. Tom admits to his collection of scented candles. Tom mentions long car journeys as well as his mom's discipline. Tom describes sibling fights. Tom explains what a Etch-a-Sketch is. Tom demonstrates his dad's driving. Tom details his high school experience, which includes a specific music lesson and a talk on railway safety. Tom believes that recorders are medieval. Tom mentions a homophobic statement that was said to him whilst he was still at school. Tom describes 1970s fashion as well as a railway safety video. Tom reveals that some of his classmates jumped over some train tracks. Tom mentions one of his extremely unlucky classmates. Tom recounts some advice he was told in assembly about railway safety. Tom talks about losing his dad about 2 years ago, as well as people pestering his family to get a death certificate regarding Tom's father. Tom confesses that a death certificate has no purpose at all. Tom believes that some undertakers want to be musical theatre stars. Tom explains the reason he thinks this is true. Tom compares an undertaker to Willy Wonka, who was obviously a character first in the book Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which is now been in 3 different films about it. Tom takes the mick out of crematoriums. Tom mentions himself when describing what his dad went through throughout his lifetime. Tom explains the differences between him and his classmates in what they participated in during the summer holidays. Tom mentions Agatha Christie. Tom details his experience of having to return an overdue library book. Tom believes he would prosper in prison. Tom explains how his dad calmed him down in reference to the overdue library book situation. Tom jokes about a dead body. Tom realises that it wasn't a dead body actually. The person that Tom presumed dead was actually sleeping with someone. Tom explains his fashion, comparing it to The Artful Dodger from Oliver, which again is a book by Charles Dickens and later a movie. Tom's dad yelled at the people sleeping together. Tom describes a life lesson he learnt from his dad. Tom admits that he and his boyfriend had been on their first holiday together to Tenerife. Tom believes that Stacey Dooley has a private jet. Tom confesses that he doesn't want to be on a flight with other gay people. Tom compares himself to a puppy. Tom recalls his conversation with one of the fellow passengers. Tom mentions Reading as well as Bake Off an Extra Slice. Tom describes his anger towards some of his fellow passengers. Tom also mentions Watchdog. Tom explains the pressures of your first holiday with your new boyfriend or girlfriend. Tom reveals how drunk he and his new boyfriend got on their Tenerife holiday. Tom recounts his conversation with a hotel receptionist. Tom reveals that he and his boyfriend arrived at a nudist beach. Tom mentions both male and female private parts. Tom also mentions other tourists. Tom's new boyfriend attempts to get Tom to participate in the nudist beach's customs. Tom's boyfriend reminds Tom of him frequently being mistaken for Judge Rinder. Tom compares nudists to dogs. Tom's new boyfriend quotes Tom's dad to him. Tom mentions Howard Bishop from Neighbours. Tom explains the time he nearly drowned, which accidentally made him look like a nudist. Tom mentions his squidger, again a window cleaning tool. Tom was recognised whilst he was naked, and Tom thanks his audience. That was my review for Tom Allen completely. Next time on the Everything Podcast, I'll be talking about the Big Finish podcast episode that was released on the 14th of July 2024. There's no trailer for the Big Finish podcast, but it's very simple. It's an official podcast, so it's done by Big Finish, which is why I'm talking about it, because I wouldn't talk about fan things, about Big Finish, so what's coming up. So this episode will talk about the 13 Doctor Adventures, which I will mention briefly in the next episode, but I'll cover more in my July 2024 Big Finish News Roundup, which should be coming at some point in August. So yes, I'll also talk about Goth Opera, which released today from when I'm recording this on the 17th of July 2024. And yes, there's no trailer. So back to this episode now. Let me know what you thought about Tom Allen Completely. If you watched it, my reviews didn't, you can put your thoughts on both of those in the comments below, as well with anything else you want to cover on the channel. So we're review suggestion for TV show or movie. So TV side, we've had The Boys Season 4, House of the Dragon, and Fallout. And movie side, we've had Hitman, Back to the Future Part 2, Argyle as well. Books, I've not had any book reviews. If you'd like to send one in, I'm more than willing to do a book review. Comics review, I'll be reviewing the Avengers Forever comic series, as well as any news you want me to cover on your favourite TV show or movie. And as I've mentioned in previous episodes, I'll be covering all the news that is announced at San Diego Comic Con and D23 2024. And put your thoughts on all of those in the comments below as well. And you can also like, comment and subscribe. And that's it for this episode of the Everything Podcast. Goodbye.